Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another movie review. Today is my very first official Marvel Movie Monday. I did Iron Man, and that was a Marvel Movie Friday, but because I like the alliteration Marvel Movie Monday, and because it's more comfortable for my schedule, Marvel Movie Mondays are starting today with the recently released and critically acclaimed Black Panther. So, I have quite a bit to say about this movie. Um, People were making it out to be the second coming of Christ, and everyone was saying it's the best Marvel movie. The No or someone on YouTube was saying it's the Godfather of Marvel movies. It surpassed all the other Marvel movies, things of that nature. And me, as a huge comic book and Marvel fan, I'm wearing a Spider-Man shirt right now. I was curious. I was like, wow, I really enjoyed most of the Marvel movies. In fact, I don't think any of them really disappointed me, except for maybe Thor: The Dark World and Hulk, but those are everyone's least favorites. Um, anyway, I was excited for this. I had tickets the day after it came out. I saw it on Saturday, and I saw it with my friends, and I was very excited. Now, I'm not one who has read many of the Black Panther comic books. I know some of his villains. I know most of his storyline through reading other comics. So I didn't really know what to expect from the story of this, or I can't say how it compares to his story in the comic books. But I can compare it to comic books in general and to the other Marvel movies. So let's start off with a quick summary. King T'Challa, the king of a small African nation of Wakanda, has recently become king after his father, King T'Chaka, died in an explosion, which happened in Captain America Civil War. And he is suddenly faced with the duties of taking care of a country, taking down the man who had been sort of terrorizing their country during his father's reign, Claw, or Ulysses Claw is his name. And he is just thrown headfirst into all of this while also taking on the moniker of the Black Panther, who is the guardian of Wakanda and is given powers and strength, enhanced abilities through eating a small fruit, which I can't remember the name of. But anyway, he is a superhero, Black Panther, taking down the villains, but he's also managing a country and doing his kingly duties. So, pretty interesting concept, especially when you consider the fact that the Wakandans are hiding themselves away in a bubble and they have incredible technology, but everyone else in the outside world thinks they're incredibly poor. So there's a great juxtaposition there, and especially, and this is the end of my summary, by the way, I'm getting straight into my thoughts on it. Especially this juxtaposition shows up when you're looking at the environments, because it's a Sahara desert, or a savanna, rather, around it, then a huge metropolis of a city with people in somewhat traditional African garb who are also like using holographs implanted in their wrists, and they've got like maglev trains going around, and the buildings are all futuristic, but they're still like trading things from baskets, and it's a really cool set design and all that. The atmosphere is actually incredible. So I'm actually going to start off with the good things, because unfortunately it's about half and half for me. I enjoyed the movie overall because I enjoy most comic book movies, and I like the character of T'Challa and the Black Panther, and whatever. But I thought that it was just disappointing in some regards. So for my positives, though, this isn't all negatives, trust me. It really tells a much deeper story, conflict-wise and world-wise, than almost all the other Marvel movies. Like there have been things in Iron Man 3 like terrorism and such like that. But this is poverty, this is civil rights, it's internal conflicts and family quarrels and all sorts of levels of intimate, powerful messages. And that's impressive because I did not expect that from this movie. And honestly, the best parts of the movie are when it is telling a story about culture, a story about conflict, but then it also has to incorporate the Marvel movie aspects, which I will get to later. But it does tell an incredible story. The villain, Killmonger, who I forgot to mention in the summary, but he is related in some way. I'm not going to say how. He's related to T'Challa, and he ends up having conflict with them, and his motives, which I'm not going to spoil because that's pretty much the big powerful moments in the movie, are very personalized. They're very human. They make sense, which is something you can't really say for many other Marvel villains. But that was great. He was an incredible villain. What's the guy's name? Michael B. Jordan. He did great charismatic performance. And also, this movie does dive deep into Wakandan culture because up to this point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, we didn't know anything about Wakanda. We knew that it had a king who died and a guy in a black suit who ran around slicing things. But we get to learn about their history through a sort of cartoonish thing, I'm pretty sure, at the beginning. We learn about why they're hiding themselves. We learn about the origin of the vibranium that is the source of their wealth. And the Wakandan culture, when you get out of it, you understand what their past is and where they're going and all that kind of thing. It worked really well. Oh, man. So this movie also, color. I say this in my reviews, but I love color in movies. There's bright colors for the African garb, the pale deserts, and then the bright green trees, and the waterfalls, and the glowing cities. They really did a great job on the color balance and the set design, which works amazingly into the atmosphere. Claw is actually a pretty decent villain as well. As a Marvel villain, he's just a funny guy who doesn't necessarily have the best motives. He's sort of just a classic bad guy. But he works himself well into the story. He was also in Avengers Age of Ultron as well, which brings him back and works this. That's really the only thing that works this really into the Marvel Cinematic Universe, except for the fact that his dad died. And also Martin Freeman is in this. And boy, I love Martin Freeman. The Hobbit, Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, Watson, what a great guy. But anyway, I digress. Time for the negatives. Okay, the Marvel movie moments that I was talking about. They needed to have the comedy that Marvel movies have become known for, and boy, is it awful. The one or two jokes with Black Panther's younger sister, Shuri, they fall flat. They break the pace of the movie. They're awful jokes in general. She makes a "what are those" joke. Oh my god. I cringed for minutes. I don't even remember what happened after that because it's... there's like one or two good chuckle moments, but the moments when they pause the story and try to make a joke do not work at all. It doesn't fit with the tone of the movie. It doesn't make any sense almost in the context of the world. But, oh man, that was awful for me. First time I haven't really enjoyed the comedy in a Marvel movie. Killmonger also really only shows up prominently in like the last third or fourth, which is interesting because he's the powerful big villain at the end. And it was an interesting choice, and I've heard this said online, and it makes sense to me. This feels like a movie that could have been two movies. Like they crammed back Black Panther 1 and 2 into a single movie. And there is a weird divide in the middle where you can feel that. That also goes to my next point. The battles, which especially the final battle and the battles preceding it, you've seen the car chase in the trailers, which is cool, and that's the best fight sequence in the movie. But all the rest of them are not very memorable. They're pretty generic. They don't have impressive moments. There's no epic size of scale and such. So yeah, fights were less memorable than other Marvel movies. And my main negative, which brings this movie down so much for me, Black Panther, T'Challa himself is not that great development-wise. All of his development comes through other characters, and who all feel a lot better developed and more personalized than he does. And it's interesting choice because it's obviously about him, but he gets his development from his friends and family members, but he feels like a pretty flat character. He's the stoic hero king, but he doesn't get much of his own arc, is what I'm trying to say. So overall, I enjoyed Black Panther. I'd say it's a 3.5 star movie out of 5 from me. And that's me for this review. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys in another video. Bye.